How many times was it rejected?
3 times. So, as they say, third time is the charm after all.
So tell me, the first refusal, what did they write?
All right, so I will send you a screenshot of that refusal letter as well.
So somebody will ask, why was Rashida's child visa denied? Hi guys, so I have the beautiful Rashida Patterson. So I haven't done so many in-person interviews, but Rashida is one of the few people who have actually met personally and I have interviewed. And I got to know her just through my channel. She's part of my YouTube family. So one time I was going to London and then I'm like, oh, who's in London? Who can I interview in London? And then I got to meet Rashida. I interviewed her. I'll leave a short clip of our interview here for those who have not seen it so you can go back and watch. Yes, and I put it on my community that if you're in London and you have an inspiring story to share, link up. And luckily, I got Rashida. So she's all the way from
Jamaica, but I'm currently in Tadworth.
I don't know how to pronounce it. So Rashida is from the Caribbean. She's from Jamaica, if I can remember.
Yes.
And she watched one of my videos where I was talking about opportunities for people to come to the UK as a teacher. And then she decided to apply. And she did apply. She was successful. She moved to London. That's where I interviewed her as an opportunity to come to teach in the UK. Do you know that your interview also has testimonies? This guy honestly sent me a message not long ago, not more than 3 weeks ago. And then she said she watched our interview and she said, mentioned some specific agencies in the interview. She said she contacted all of them. None of them responded except one. And that was that. And he's currently in the UK. So I'll look for that testimony and leave a screenshot of it, and if possible, in there. So you have been a blessing. Because of you, he relocated, and God bless you. And in the interview, I remember you said you had a child back in Jamaica, or maybe it was in when we were having, conversations behind the scenes. I think you did mention that you had a child. However, when I interviewed you at the time, you were alone in London.
Yes.
So you tried to bring your child to join you.
Yes.
Chaotic.
It has been chaotic. So, do you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, whatever I left out, you can introduce yourself or anything that I left out.
All right, so some of you guys might remember my face. So I was interviewed by Nanelle, got to meet her in person. I'm Jamaican, of course. Came here, I'm a science teacher as well, secondary. Been teaching here in April, will make 2 years that I've been in the UK teaching, of course. Of course, being away from the family and especially being a mom, the intention is to take your children. In my case, I only have the one child. And finally applied for my child and he was refused. So we'll get into the meat of that a bit later on. But yes, so that's basically me.
So usually, for those who don't know, when you come to the UK to work as a skilled worker, you come on a work visa. You are entitled to bring your spouse and your dependent below the age of 18 years to join you in the UK on your visa. They would come as your dependent. So people have been bringing their husbands and their children. So somebody would ask, why was Rashida's child visa denied? So I have mentioned this before on my channel that sometimes it is a struggle if the child is from a previous relationship and you're not currently with the child's father or the other parent. For most people whose dependent visa have been denied, their children dependent visas have been denied, that is usually the case. And Rashida, would you believe I have a lady who's also from Jamaica who I used to work with, who has gone back. She has gone back to Jamaica, yes, because she tried and she has 2 kids. You know what happened? She has 2 kids and one of the children's visa was approved and the other was denied.
That is not a decision.
Her husband's visa was also approved. So they gave the visa of the child of the current husband and the husband, but denied the one from previous marriage. She tried to, they were not. So she got fed up and then she left. And she's away, yeah. And she might see this video, yeah. And she's from Jamaica as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this, Nano. I was on that path, honestly. My things were in a box. I was thinking of going back. This was my 3rd and final attempt. I was not going to try again.
And I did interview a lady who's also from Jamaica, who also had a similar issue, but later it got approved. So she did come to share it on the channel. She did come to share her process and all of that. So I'm very happy that you also have tried. You tried a couple of times and it failed. How many times was it rejected?
3 times. So as they say, third time is the charm after all.
Wow. So tell me, the first refusal, what did they write?
All right, so I will send you a screenshot of that refusal letter as well. But it was basically a 6-page document outlining to me that I need to prove what the UK calls parental responsibility. So this is where the meat of the matter is. So that term, parental responsibility, is so important and it is so complicated at the same time where you would not even understand. And this is where using a lawyer is actually advised in most cases. So basically, what they denied us on, or me on, for my son, was saying that I did not show proof of parental responsibility. In my initial application, I provided his birth certificate as well as a letter from his dad because we're civilized, we're fine, we talk, and he's perfectly fine with him coming. A letter outlining, and in most countries we say notary public, so that's like we're justice of the peace. Got that signed by them as well, and they emailed me. Of course, I was shocked. Never gotten an email from the Home Office. Emailed me to ask for additional information, asking what else can I show as proof that this is my child, a parental responsibility. Now, that term, when I Googled it, didn't come up with anything at first. So we thought he was talking about parental custody, and that is a problem. So, of course, we went to the court and got him to sign the same letter again, and I resubmitted that. Not even, 5 days afterwards, flat out denial. That was the letter saying I need to show proof such as a parent custody order granting full parental responsibility.
Before you continue, that is the same thing that happened to the lady at my workplace. And she was not comfortable with her husband sort of like saying that I give you all illegally. The husband literally saying that is like, I'm washing my hands off. You have full custody. She wasn't comfortable with that.
Yes.
So what happened? What examples did they give you?
So, interestingly enough, and this is where I think the system is a bit vague, the only document that they mentioned by name was the parental responsibility court order. But of course, different court systems across different jurisdictions will say different things mean different things. So when I went to them with the letter, because I did, they said, this is a parental custody. Yes, we'll do that. Went into court. They said, I need to be physically. I flew to Jamaica. Flew to Jamaica to get this court document done. Got the document and we're like, yes, it's all perfectly working out. We're on the timeline. Resubmitted. They asked us for additional information. Now, we did make a mistake on that form. And because of my excitement, I did not double check that. It did not have his full name on it, so it just had his first name. But that's a court thing where they protect a child's identity. So we automatically thought, oh, that's the issue. So let's go back to the court, get it. And then we got a denial again. So that was the second time. Pardon?
The second refusal, after you have flown to Jamaica, gotten a court order saying you have full custody of your child, why was it denied again? What did they refuse on letter?
Now, in that letter, that was a long letter. I've never seen the UK write such a long letter. So I believe that was about 9 or 10 pages long. It was a long letter. Now, that letter, the basic gist of that, and I'll send you snippets, would have been that in UK's jurisdiction, parental responsibility and parental custody are two different things. And they went on to define what parental custody means to the UK and what parental responsibility means, and the fact that I need to show parental responsibility. So, in essence, one word was the reason why I did not get my child twice. So, of course, they basically showed that. And then there was also a problem. I believe whoever the caseworker was looking at my statement and not understanding. So I don't know how many people use Monzo. Now, you can lock your money into different pots.
Yeah.
Separate accounts. I had my money in separate accounts. Rather than looking at the full statement, the person looked at just the face of the account, seeing that it was below the £315 and said that was also a reason why they were not going to allow him to come. So that was another reason. So
I have just started using Monzo, so I understand what you mean. I can go to my account right now and it will say I have £0, but it's because I have put, let's say, money I have made from YouTube in one pot, money I have made from this in one pot. So just so
exactly.
that I'll be disciplined and not go. So when I open the account, it says I have £0 because
$0.
Pots, yes.
Yes, and
asking
We
is
know
yeah.
we can't have the money in one place now, can we? It's a different things. So we had to split it. So that was another reason. And I had to basically show them all of this. I had to show them all of this in detail, what went wrong. What went wrong.
Would be
So yeah,
so frustrating.
it was. And I must say that I was basically on the brink. You know what? I went to school and my head teacher is probably one of the most sincere head teachers I've ever met. I went into school and it's just the small things, just a child. I saw a parent walking with their child going to the school that I would have brought my son to. And it triggered me. And I went into school, and as soon as I got upstairs to my classroom, tears. And I did not even realize that's the thing with depression. You don't even realize. So I went in, I was crying. She said, "You know what? We've never seen you look even upset, not even from a child. So we know it must be affecting you, giving you the day off." They said, "You don't even have to go home right away if you don't want. You can wait until the kids go." They gave me time, got into a room. She gave me a laptop, gave me tissues. She brought food. She put me in a nice little office and said, "You know what? Sort out what you need to sort out. And if you can restart today. If you can't, I'll put it in as a compassionate. Just let me know in an hour's time."
Oh.
And trust me, I needed that because you know what? If it wasn't for that, no, I would have given up. It just takes that one act of kindness sometimes, honestly. Just one act. So, yeah.
Told her that your child has gotten the visa now.
Yes. Oh my God. It was such a party in my department. So when I told just my HOD, my head of department, and she told somebody else, and the person told somebody else, and it was just like everybody kept coming up to me. "Oh my God, you got him! I'm so happy." So it's honestly been, it's like a nice community at my school. Honestly,
I'm
can't
happy for you
complain.
to have that because
Yeah,
that is really important. Because imagine if you were struggling at work, battling, and then all of these, that would easily break you.
that would have easily discouraged me.
Yeah.
First paycheck would have been on a plane home.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
tough country.
Wow.
So yeah. So
Let me
now.
ask you this. In the second denial, aside
Mhm.
the error with the Monzo account, do you remember exactly how they explained the parental responsibility versus the cost? Do you remember exactly what the difference
Yes.
is? Okay.
So this is like PTSD. So
Okay.
what they said was parental custody in UK law would have been that you have physical custody of the child, but that does not mean that you have parental responsibility. So they said parental responsibility is naturally given at birth to the mother and the dad, as long as they're both on the birth certificate, mostly the mother as well. But legally, you're not given parental responsibility unless you are the one making the major decisions in the child's life, which surrounds things like where they live, first of all, where they live, what is being cared for, how they're being cared for. I mean, their education, and specifically, they mentioned their medical care or their medical needs. So those 4 points is what they mentioned. So they said if you are not the one primarily, doesn't have to be the only one, but if you're not the one primarily or at least contributing to those areas, deciding what school they go to, bringing them to doctor's appointment, and you have to have proof, then you do not have a parental responsibility of your child. You only have parental custody. So getting that court order did me more harm than good, and I did not even know.
Wow. So they need you to prove that even as your child has been away from you, you are still the one who has been making the major decisions in the child's life.
Yes.
For instance, the child, although you are in the UK, has been living with your parents and not your husband.
Yes.
For
Hmm.
instance, you are still the one sending money for the child tuition fees or
And that's a major one.
or even if it's not you on it, it is your
Yes.
mother who has been doing that on your behalf. And if you could prove
Yes.
that, then you have parental responsibility.
And then actually, they do not fault you too much on the financial aspect, but just the point of someone on your family side being the one physically in custody caring for that child. They're saying it's more substantial than being the one only financially being the one for them. Because then by default, you're deciding where they're going for school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense. I've read something like that on the website before. Makes
Mhm.
sense. What kind of document did you submit to prove you?
Hey, are you ready for this one, Nanelle?
Yeah.
So it was 40 plus documents that I had to supply, as strenuous. And this is why they say that this is the job of a lawyer and it really should take time. And honestly, I think if you're in the position to pay for that, it might do you more good to get legal aid, although it can be costly. Now, the first thing that they need is going to be the court order, because they need to see a court order saying parental responsibility. And what the court normally requires is they will not edit that unless you have proof of why you need it. So that refusal letter comes in play. They will also need to see, if you claim that you're the one making the financial decisions, they will need to see that you have receipts, so like your MoneyGram, your Western Union, your transfer code, money receipt, transferring money back to the country that your child is in, proof that that is going towards your child. So maybe an account that either the person that's caring for you's name is on, and receipts going to the grocery.
Sorry, talking about money, let me chip in the reason why Lemfi, So as you can see on my top, you can see Lemonade Finance. So obviously, if you send money, right, there are some people in this day and age, you know how they send money back home? They would say, oh, who has pounds in exchange for, let's say, Ghana cedis or Naira? Let's say I will give you, Rashida, 200 pounds in here. And then you, Rashida, will let your uncle in Jamaica send my auntie money in Ghana. So when you do that, you don't have any electronic track record of money you have sent to your family, right? So if you have dependents back home, especially this topic that we're talking about, dependents, use transfer apps like Lemfi. When you send money to your friends and family using Lemfi, there is a track record. You can track how much you sent to them in the last 100 years, and you can print this out and use as your proof for such visa applications. Yes. And also, you get value for your money. For instance, when you're using Lemfi, Lemfi has the best rates ever. Unfortunately, you can't send Lemfi to Jamaica, but if you need to send money from the UK or the US or Canada to countries like Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Benin, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, you have to use Lemfi. Honestly, they have like the best rates ever. Like even at present, I don't want to say the exact rates because it might change tomorrow, even after filming this. But like when you're sending like Ghana cedis, Lemfi's rate is like, let's say, almost 1 Ghana cedi difference with some other apps. They have like the best rates. And then ever since I discovered them, that's what I've been using. I've been working with them for like 3 years now, and that's all I've been using. And if you want value for your money, obviously you use them. And even if there are issues, you can always contact customer service to sort you out. And now they have introduced something where when you send money to your friends and family, you earn some points. And then as you're earning those points can now transfer to like money where you can send that money. I don't know if you understand. Yeah. So as you're sending money, the more money you send, you earn points. And then these points now can later be used as money, as coins that you can actually send to family members.
Actually send over as well. Yeah. You need to talk to them to get Jamaica on the list, Nanelle.
So I will leave the link in the description, or always remember to use my referral code, and then you can generate your own referral code as well, so that when people use your code, you can make money. So Rashida, back to what we were saying, you had to show proof that you had sent money to them, but then you said the Home Office don't even look at the financial aspect per se. It's not like the priming that they are needing you to prove, but it's just that you have been making a major decision in the child's life. Even if you are not present, it's somebody in your family.
In your family, and it doesn't even have to be family as well. It can be anyone on your side, someone that has ties to you. It can be a friend, it could even be your new partner that you have, or your new husband or wife that is caring for them. That would make even a stronger case, because that shows them that that child will have a complete family, a complete household. And we know the UK is very big on family as well.
Yeah. And I think the main reason why they are very strict when it comes to that is like they don't want you to keep the child away from the other parent illegally.
Yes.
So they need both parents to be on the same page, and they need to be so sure of that before they do that. Yeah.
And you know what? I would say that I was upset. Of course you were. I would be upset. But when I looked into it to look at possible reasons, I was seeing that there were currently like major problems with trafficking with children into the UK illegally, and people bringing in the wrong child that they have never even met. So I can understand where you're coming from with it, but it's just that we had to provide so much. I even had to provide
pictures of
with my son, pictures dating years from the moment he was born. I had to show them leasing agreements. Where was I living? How can I prove that he was living with me? So pictures of me there. I to show them bills, to show that I was paying for a streaming service for him, for a child. No, the list.
You can get everything you can get that has your name on, or anybody on your
Anything.
side name on, that is
Mhm.
into your child's life or your child's living.
And they love the fact that you have pictures. So even things like, we know that we're in the 21st century where you can have video calls. So it's a lucky thing that sometimes, he'll do something cute and I'll take a screenshot of me and him on a video call. And thankfully, I was the type of person that did that, because I drew right back for those pictures and showed them the dates on them. And I was like, there's not a day that goes by that I don't talk to my child. And even if it's another day, it's the other day. So it's like those things they were able to see there was a relationship, because that's another proof of relationship, continuous relationship. Because they mentioned, Miss Rashida, you have been out of the country for 16 months separated. It was your own personal decision to leave your child to the UK. Why do you want to take him now after so long? So that is where proof of relationship comes in. And you know what? His father, because they're not estranged in a sense, I was trying to build a relationship with them. So I said, well, you won't be seeing him for a while. So I'll let you see him for a couple of weeks prior to me coming. And unfortunately, that was prior to him coming, me applying for the visa, not knowing that that would have been detrimental. Now, because he was the one that brought him to the visa appointment, his address was the one that I unfortunately put on the visa application. They're saying, how are you saying this is your child when it seems like it is the dad's child? So it was a whole mess. So I do have some tips to share in terms of, at the end, in terms of what not to do to not.
Go into that. I think we can go into that. Tell people. And with what you said, right? Another gentleman I spoke to when I was trying to help this friend of mine who is from Jamaica, who was in my workplace, what he did was his child was old enough. So he made his child write a letter as well to the Home Office to state why he
Yes.
wanted to be with the father so bad. He was a man
Yes.
and he's a nurse now in the UK. And luckily for him as well, the child has been living with his mom, which is the child's paternal grandmother. So he could prove that, he's been living with my mother the entire time, blah, blah, blah. So if your child is old enough, they can also write a letter as well to help. And then let me also say that if the other partner is not alive, all you need is a death certificate and that's it.
Then you know what? That would make it so much simpler. You probably wouldn't have been even denied in the first place.
If they are alive, the Home Office will ask you to prove. So please tell us what not to do.
So what I would say is primarily, if the child's the other parent is actually involved in any way, please make it clear on your application. There is a point where you can put some additional information, but if the explanation is going to be too long, what the lawyer advised me to do was I needed to do a cover letter. So I need to do an application letter explaining things that they will misunderstand. Remember, these people do not know you. Some things might seem obvious to you, but state the obvious, because guess what? Whatever you put on there, they have to go through it. So you might as well put it on. So do an application letter, explain if there was a gap in terms of where the child was living at one point, if there's another address that the child was living at even for a week, and you listed that address, explain why. Maybe it was a sleepover. You send the child away for something else. You need that. You also need to prove to them that you're the one making the medical decisions for the child. So if that child goes even to the doctor for a common cold, have a picture of your receipt. Have a picture of prescriptions, because most of the time, whoever brought that child with them, their name will be on the prescription as well as the child's. The date will be on there, the doctor's address will be on there, and that will link back to your address at home. That helps perfectly. And that statement, which showing an impact statement from the child. Now, I don't even remember how many letters I put on there. And that's what helped me in the end, in the third application. I wrote an impact statement. I put quotes in and told them what are the things that my child is saying. He's saying, Mommy, oh my God, I missed you so much. Tell them exactly what happened. How is this affecting you? Because they need to see some emotion. This doesn't need to seem like a business transaction. It's true. It should not feel like a business transaction. And they need to see letters from that. They need letters from friends and people that are close by to you to say, this person was indeed the one that we know. This is the only parent that we know for this child. If you're religious, this parent is the only one that brings this child to Sunday school, to church. This parent is the only one one that comes to parents' evening. So for child report cards, this parent is the only one that we know that pays tuition. This one is the only one that does everything.
You can get the church to write a letter. You can get
The church wrote a letter. Thankfully, he went to a church school, so they wrote a letter from the church perspective as well as from the school's perspective. And he's well known in the community because they know him as a very friendly little boy. He'll not pass without saying good morning to even the insane person on the road. So yes, they know him. So thankfully, I was able to get letters from every single person. I said, would you mind signing this letter? If you don't have the time to write it, I can write it. You can sign it and we can say that you signed it indeed. Nanelle, I don't even know how many letters I put on there from people saying this is how it's impacting them. She's the best person for her child. She's the only parent we know. Let's get this done. So it's really, honestly, when you think you're done, please add more information. And no matter how simple the misconception might seem, explain it. Explain it because these people do not know you and they're going with what you tell them. And if you make a claim as well, the Home Office loves this word, evidence. What are you basing it on? My child is affected. How do you know that? I said, okay, medically, I want my child with me. What do you mean medically? What's wrong? Is their hand broken? What's happening? I had to tell them that indeed he had an ear infection because I wasn't there to clean his ears and nobody else did it. He had an ear infection. We had to say stuff like that. So we had to tell them stuff like that. Tell them everything. It might seem like you're dishing out all of your life.
You overwhelmed them with evidence.
I overwhelmed them, Nanelle.
Evidence.
And every single day I thought about something else. I sent them something else. And you know what? This last month it is the longest I've ever heard of the Home Office taking to make a decision. In Jamaica, it's normally 6 days, 6 business days. It took them 1 month and 3 days to get a decision. They wrote to me twice to say that they're outside of the time period and they sincerely apologize, but they're still making a decision. And I'm telling you, I overwhelmed them.
Love of a mother. You went
Yes.
everything. And I'm so thankful to God that you did not give up and he's going to be
honestly.
You have to prove, because the other lady I interviewed, I think she had to prove how she's going to take care of the child alone when the child comes. Did you have to prove?
Yes, and I also had to put that on. I had to show them his school's already ready. I took pictures of his school uniform that I bought, his receipt, his shoes. I took a picture of his clothes that I bought for him, his nice little furry coat, his hat, his everything. I showed them a screenshot of the mapping of the journey.
I can envision them gossiping about you at the office.
Yes, I must be famous over there, I'm telling you. I showed them everything. Like, I even showed them, because you know the breakfast and after school club, I showed them, look, I booked his breakfast and after school club because this is how confident I was that he was coming. I pre-booked it 2 months in advance, prepaid for that. Show them the receipt and show them the fact that I'm getting a refund because of the fact that he's not coming. No. Don't know what I didn't show them.
Wow.
Everything.
And you put in you did a good job.
Yes.
Well,
so
wishing that my friend will watch this video and maybe reconsider and see if she can retry again and then try and then come. Wow, your final words, and then because this is already 33 minutes, your final words.
Yes, the final words, guys. I would say don't give up. I know it might seem hard, and if you are not the person that is as annoying and as persistent as I am, go through a lawyer. But just be aware that it will be costly because lawyer fees start at £2,000, except that's separate from the visa fees. So if you want to put in the work yourself, do it yourself. Basically, once you've ticked all the boxes, there's nothing better. The last thing I said to them, which is why they gave me the decision, was to show them exactly every single point in the appendix that they have on there. That's a 23-page document. I showed them every single point, how he met every single thing, and referenced every single piece of evidence that I had, how exactly they're breaking his rights, what they're doing wrong. I call them out on every single thing. If you have the time and the patience, do it. If you don't, pay for it. But that is my final words. Yes.
And you were so confident you were going to get it because you contacted me before the decision came.
Yes. So you remember I emailed you and I texted you and I said, no, I'm getting my son because I was like, I'm getting my son. There is no way that they're gonna see this and not give me my son at this point. No one is going through all of this to traffic a child. Nobody.
Wow. Well done.
So yeah,
And thank you so much. Send me your address. I'll send him a gift when he arrives. When is he arriving?
he's arriving in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
Are we having a welcome party?
Yes, yes, definitely. I'm
Oh,
bringing him out to his favorite restaurant.
how old is he?
Loves, he's 4. He's about to be 5 in December, and I promised him that he'll be getting his cake in the UK. So
Wow.
we'll be spending Christmas together after all.
Oh, that's beautiful. I wish you all the
Yes,
best, okay? And may God give
thank
you the
you.
strength to be able to take care of
And
him.
keep doing what you're doing, Nanelle, because without you, we wouldn't have been here in the first place.
Ah,
When I re-looked at some of the videos, I rewatched the video that you said mentioned about someone else and actually got the inspiration to keep going. I was like, no, Nanelle went through a lot. These people that you keep interviewing went through a lot. And if I give up, it would just be a part of the statistics.
and I don't know
So
why
you know
all the
what?
people I have met who have gone 3 people, they're all from Jamaica. Why?
I don't know.
Yeah. And there were
We're
other
resilient people.
people as well who went through that. Yeah.
Yes. So
Wow. Thank you so much, Rashida. And
thank
guys,
you.
I'm gonna leave Rashida's YouTube on the screen and I'm gonna tag you as well so that people can
Yes.
send you personal messages. You know, some people might want you to go through their letter for them or something, you know.
Yes. And I do plan to go through all of the letters. I'm drafting a couple of ones, but I will do that on my channel. So to look out for
Yeah,
that as well.
that would be helpful. I'll leave your channel details as well.